Got some more parts in for our 22, actually ours is a 23 VB WRX from Torque Solutions. Got them from Import Image Racing. It's the, I think this is the rear diff. It's all for the rear diff for stiffening it, but these are the, I believe it's the carrier. These would be the upper bushings. So these happy faces go upside down into the upper grommets or bushings, whatever you want to call them, just to fill in the gaps. It's got these two big washers, and then this one goes into the under support on the driver's side. The passenger side is solid. So we're gonna get the car, I think, jacked up a little bit just to get better access in there and start seeing what we're gonna have to do to get these installed. It shouldn't be too bad. I think we may have to cut the, because my car's only got 3,000 miles, we'll probably have to cut the area that these insert into, because there's probably still some rubber-like flashing from the original molding. But we're gonna go ahead and get the car ready. Okay, so we got the rear end all jacked up here. Gonna go after what I believe to be the easier ones first. Kind of see them tucked in there. Exhaust is in the way from the camera view, but I can get a wrench in here pretty easy. But it's these two guys up here. You can kind of already see where the cutouts are, so I guess I'm going to try to fit them first because it's hard to see. Yeah, I'll get a flashlight in here, but it's kind of hard to see if they're punched through or not. We're going to take one off at a time. Everything's 17 millimeters, so these two guys are 17 mil, and then this is the lower support we're going to take off. These are 17 mil, and these bolts on the bottom are 17 mil. So get yourself a couple socket wrenches, and then an open-ended wrench just in case. So we're gonna go remove these top carriers first and see if we need to do any clearing of flashing in there to get the inserts in. And these are the smiley face inserts. You put them in upside down. Let's see if we can capture it. It's gonna be tough given the gap we got here. Maybe you can see it, but these are, let's get up here. It's blurry, but they're totally filled in. They've got that kind of flashing or whatever it is from the molding. You can see it pretty good right there. So I gotta go ahead and poke those out with a screwdriver. I could do a razor blade, but I'd rather just do a screwdriver, see if I can pop some holes in them. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, again, we're gonna match the shape. So kind of the peak goes up to the top. Obviously gotta flip her around, but this is how it inserts. We use the handy dandy pick to kind of push out some of the rubber, put a little silicone grease on this, and we're gonna put it in like this. Okay, here's the first one pushed in. See, it's inserted into that cross brace. I'm gonna grab our washer and start to run it down with a factory bolt. Okay, so we have the washer on, the factory nut on, just kind of hand tight right now. I'm gonna do the other side and then grab the torque spec. But yeah, just make sure you clear out those holes and, you know, push it in, throw some silicone grease on it. It actually goes in pretty nice. So hopefully the other side will be just as easy. I'm gonna repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay, nuts off on the other side. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Looks like I gotta poke some holes, you see right there. Let's get up top, see if we can get a view. Yeah, gotta run the pick through. So again, I used a little 90-ish degree pick. Gives you enough room to see if I can get a view. It's gonna be tough to do this and get the camera, but there we go. Kind of pop it in there, poke your hole, run it around. Can't get the right angle there, but you get the idea. All right, again, here's the orientation you're gonna put it in. And obviously it goes in that way. Well, it looks like a little house almost. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this guy in, washer, nut, and get the torque specs. Okay, the torque on these is, I think 44.7, but we're hitting them with 45 foot-pounds. And I may even back them off a smidge after hitting them the first time and torque them one more time just to see if it sets, but 45 foot-pounds. Okay, next we're gonna go ahead and take the carrier off again, all 17 mils. I think I'm gonna start with these nuts on the underside and then take the carrier bolts out. Okay, so we have the diff carrier out. This is how it sits facing forward. Here's the side, driver's side, that we've got to put our fillers, what the hell you want to call them, basically plugs to fill up the gaps in there. So passenger side solid. So I think this is going to be the most pain in the butt part of the process, because I'm sure this is going to be fun to get back in. It came out pretty easy, but I'm sure with the extra thickness here, getting it back in is going to be fun. So we're going to try and get this as flush in as we can. Do you see there's a little bit of the rubber stuff in there, so we're going to go ahead and poke that out, lube it up with some silicone, and try to get it in flush. Okay, so we got it in, no problem, and it's about as flush in as we're going to get it by hand. One thing you can tell, it's going to make it fun already. Look at that difference. Where that sleeve is, that's going to make it interesting. So yeah, I feel like it should be flush. So we're gonna go ahead and see how that works with fitting it. I think I'm gonna put it on the bracket under there. Probably can't even see it, but I think I'm gonna put it, there it is on the bracket. Let's put some silicone lube on there. First we're gonna just see how it fits, and then probably throw some lube on it, see if it'll help. Okay, that went scary well. You can see it's right in there. I threw some silicone lube on the inside of each one of these brackets, and it slid right up. Maybe it took some elbow grease, but it slid up pretty good. So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and get the Torx, well, we're gonna put the nuts on, get the Torx specs. This is stuff I used. Buy it on Amazon, worked great. It may have been a real pain in the butt without that, but I've seen some folks that need to use jacks to lift it up. Nope. No, not at all. Let's throw some lube on there. She went in, so it could be my car being newer. I have no idea, but not bad. Go ahead and run the nuts on. So we got it all in. Everything's hand tight. Unfortunately, I don't have a good torque for these guys. They came out pretty easy compared to the bolts here, so I'm gonna go ahead and torque those. They're 17 mil, very similar to these carrier guys up there that we did before. I'm gonna hit those with about 45 foot-pounds. And I think these are 52, but I'll check on that. So I'm gonna do 45 for the bottom, 52 for the top. Just confirming the nut side of the bolts here are 52. And again, I'm gonna take a little bit of a guess at 45 on these. So I'm gonna retorque these guys up here at 45. Hit those. Those don't have any bushings or anything, so they should be good with a single run. And do these guys at 52, and we'll be done. Okay, just to make sure that I got everything tightened under the various low conditions, I've put the jack under the diff. That's how I'm gonna get it off the jack stands anyway, and jacked it up till it was just taking just barely a little bit of load. So it's pushed up in there, and just retorquing everything to make sure everything's seated. And then after that, we're all set, and we'll see how it runs. Well, I took it around for a quick drive around in the neighborhood. Not a lot of speed, but I didn't really hear any additional noise. I wouldn't say the change is significant. It'll probably be different under more spirited driving, but didn't really have the time. All in all, not a hard install. I think some folks are saying like 20 minutes. It's more like an hour and change if you take your time. I'll be putting in the, I think it's a Group N transmission mount and the white line carrier bushings next week. So that should tighten up the entire drivetrain area, with the exception of the drive shaft. I think there's solid drive shaft mounts. I'm not going to do those. I did those on my Evo way back in the day, and it was terrible. The noise was unbearable. So I think we'll just do that Group N and the white lines, and I think it'll take most of the play out of the transmission when shifting. Anyway, hope it helped.